hindi agad natetest lahat yung mga codes ninyo pag pinagsama-sama. Kasi di ba may mga separate development na ginagawa. So in this phase, i-integrate lahat yung mga code changes ninyo to test kung nag-work ba siya o hindi. And also, kung mayroong mga functionalities kailangan i-test, like yung mga login ninyo, kung nag-work ba, pwede rin siyang i-automate sa phase na to. Okay? And next is the continuous release and deployment. So, syempre, after you have compiled or integrated all your codes, you need to have a release or a deployment or gumawa kayo ng deployment for your application kung talaga bang magra-run siya or hindi. So this is a phase that has an step pipeline that will help you to implement code reviews and developer check-ins easily. Okay. Next is the continuous monitoring. So this phase is needed to monitor changes and addresses errors and mistakes spontaneously whenever they happen. So it's like monitoring your application kung nag-run ba siya, kung meron ba mga failures sa backend or sa codes ninyo, something like that. Okay. So and next is or the last one is the continuous user feedback and optimization. So this phase allows the project for an immediate response from your customer for your product and its features and helps you modify accordingly. Uh, an example of this is yung pag nagre-report kayo ng mga issues. For example, sa Facebook, you can report an issues. That's continuous user feedback and optimization. So pag nagre-report kayo ng mga issues doon or mga bug or glitches about the Facebook, namo-monitor yun ng mga developer or ng DevOps team. And then they will give those issues sa mga developer para i-fix siya. Para sa next release or sa next deployment nila is ayos na yung issue na yun. Okay? Everything's clear naman ba so far? I think my question, wala naman. Nawala naman yung reason. Okay? So, let's continue. So there are different terms that is used for DevOps CI/CD. So the first one is the continuous integration, continuous delivery, and continuous deployment. So they have different meaning on the DevOps side. So continuous integration only covers from continuous integration only covers from developer checking in their code until building the code automatically and producing an artifact. So yung artifact is yung mga jar files niyo, war files, air files, or anything that is compiled code. So the next one is yung continuous delivery. So it covers from developer checking in their code until the staging phase and automatically have a manual approval before it will be deployed to the production. So it's just the same as the continuous integration, but it have a manual approval before it comes or before na ma-deploy siya sa production. No, may someone na kailangan pa mag-click kung okay or mag-click ng approval before ma-deploy yung codes nila. And then the last one is the continuous deployment. So it covers all the stages in a life cycle in an automated way without human interference. So basically, it was a fully automated deployment, integration, testing for your code. Okay. And also this, yes, Mark?
Yeah, there's a question from Aris. DevOps, as you explained, sounds like an expanded agile tool. It extends the methodologies coverage to operations, not just development. Does this mean that it has better impact in managing tech businesses?
Yeah, actually, yes. It has better impact in managing the tech business, because you can have faster feedback from your development if you ever have issues, and then you can also apply monitoring for your environments. Yeah, it has a better impact in managing the tech business.
Any other
And
questions? Can you raise your hands? Okay, so we can move on.
okay, thank you for that question, Aris Liwanag. So this CI/CD pipeline consists of some stages in so this vary on the project what they needed. So this example is just standard stages that are implemented in a CI/CD. So we have a source, build, test, and deploy. So it varies. Hindi siya yung fix na ito talaga yung ina-apply for a project. So depende naman siya sa need. For example, they only want the build stage or the stage or the deploy stage, or they can have test and deploy, build and test. So it varies. Okay. So this one, which is the
Uh,
source stage,
I
is
introduced
yes. Hi, John
John
B.
here. So can you just go to the previous slide and just explain to them kung ano yung connection ng each pipeline, the development stage, or to the
Okay.
development phases rather.
Okay, sige. Sige, thanks, John B. So the first one, yung source stage, is this is where your codes have this is where your codes are being stored or being monitored. We have tools like GitLab, Git, SVN, and a lot more on the market. So basically, uh, this stage is whenever you are checking your code, na monitor siya pag may mga changes ka or mayroong kailangan fixes, dito lahat napupunta sa source stage. And then the next one is the build stage. So sa build stage naman is that, uh, for example, your code, kinocompile mo siya. Siyempre, kinocompile mo siya locally. Pero on this build stage is that, for example, you have 100 developer, 1,000 developer. So this build stage, ini-integrate ka lahat ng mga changes na ginagawa ninyo, which is yung nilalagay niyo yun sa source stage. So kino-compile siya, ini-integrate, and then para magkaroon ng ng artifact or the package of your code. And then once na meron ng package or integrated na yung code niyo is sa test stage na naman siya pupunta. Which is yung sa testing stage is that it's either may gumagawa sila ng unit testing, static code analysis, functional testing, and any testing na pwede yung gusto niyo i-apply. It varies naman kung ano yung mga kailangan ng development or ng client or kung anong kailangan nyo sa development yung ginagawa. Okay? Tapos once na-test siya and it pass or wala na siyang failures and then okay na siya sa lahat ng criteria ninyo, then papupunta na siya sa deployment stage. This deployment stage is dine-deploy mismo yung code niyo. And then it also bine-version niya yung mga artifacts niyo for example, package 1, package 2, package 3. So whenever you want to roll back or gusto niyo lang bumalik dun sa version na test niyo, pwede niyo siya magamit or may redeploy dun sa application niyo. Okay? So all of this is ginagawa siyang automated in the DevOps practice para ma-lessen yung human intervention or yung mga human error na nangyayari. Okay? So yun. Actually, ito na rin yung kanina. So source stage is where the developer do their code changes and check in their code to notify a CI/CD pipeline to run specifically for that code. So ito siya. The next is the build stage. So yung it creates an artifact or integrator codes. Then whenever there are failure in this stage in pipeline, it will stop or it will not proceed on the testing stage. Kasi syempre, kailangan muna natin ma-check yung code kung buildable ba siya or makakapag-produce ba tayo ng artifact before it, di ba? So this is the test stage. So there is also a test wherein the codes are run into a static code analysis and run some tests like unit testing, functional testing, and other testings that you need on your projects. So any failure on this stage is also will stop the pipeline or the phases that the DevOps implemented. Kasi syempre, ayaw naman natin maglagay ng code na hindi fully tested or ayaw natin mag-deploy ng code na fully tested. Di ba? So the next one is yes.
Yeah, before we start this, there are two questions from Aris Liwana. With Agile and Scrum, we clearly see the roles and accountabilities for developers and testers. With DevOps, kasama na si operations staff. What is the involvement of IT operations? Saang aspect?
Bali si operations teams kasi, since the operations teams is focused on the monitoring and or for the user feedbacks and then basically naman kasi for the monitoring kasi sila. So we have set of tools or automated monitoring for each of the environments na ini-implement. Like pag merong mga sa usage ng programs na masyadong pitik, merong mga automations for that one para mas mabilis nila ma-monitor para ma-report nila agad. Unlike nung magma-manual tracking pa sila which takes time and then hindi nila lagi monitor yung server. Kaya yung DevOps is inasama niya ng operations team for the whole phases of the pipeline or for the whole phases of the DevOps.
Okay. So I hope na si Aris Liwanag ay naliwanagan sa sagot ni Junpis. So we have another question from Dr. Arnold Fuentes. Hello, sir. Good day. In the build stage, what are the DevOps tools you need to work remotely? Like doing the functional testing aside from GitHub or Heroku?
Actually, there are a lot for functional testing. We have Selenium, HPUFT, and a lot more on the market. But currently, yung pinakasikat ngayon is Selenium. You can check it out. You can do a functional testing for your application. It can do remotely.
Okay.
It's like it's just like Arnold. It's just like your click. Para kang nagmo-move lang sa browser mo. Ganun yung Selenium niya. Pero kinocode lang siya.
Sige. Okay. We can move on.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for that questions. Okay. So yan. Let's move on na siguro. So here are some DevOps tools that are available in the market. There are a lot of DevOps tools that you can use to fit to what your project requirements are. So we have here the application lifecycle management, which we have Jira and a lot more, Trello, a lot more on the net. You can check it out. So yung application management, mostly it's for the collaborative deployment, collaborative development for the teams. So dito nalalagay lahat ng mga issues or gumagawa ng mga tickets para matrack yung mga life cycle ng application niyo. The next is in source code management. We have Git, and then meron silang mga web UIs like GitHub, GitLab, and a lot more. And then meron ding SVN available, Serena Dimensions, marami pa on the market. So yung source code management naman is dito yung tinatrack lahat ng mga code changes niyo. Example, sa developer 1, meron code changes. Makikita siya, then mag-track. Bago siya malagay dun sa repository. Then orchestrator naman, we have Jenkins. We also have Bamboo, Urban Code Deploy, Blue Ocean. I think nakikita niyo yung Blue Ocean sa ads. Kasi laging pinapakita yung ads na yun kahit saan. So si orchestrator naman is like siya yung taga-utos lahat ng mga for other tools. So pina-plugin lang lahat sa orchestrator yung mga other tools like event for build for testing. We have yung integrate lang rin siya kay orchestrator. And then si orchestrator naman siya yung mga nagko-command dun sa mga tools na yun on what kung ano yung kailangan gawin. Okay. And then we also have test and quality assurance. We have New Relic, the Sonar Cube, Selenium, HPUFT, and a lot more on the market. So for testing quality assurance, chine-check lang naman yung chine-check niya yung quality ng codes niyo. And then tina-test if it is working or not. Okay? And then software configuration management naman, we have Ansible, Chef, Ansible Tower, and a lot more on the market. So currently, Ansible yung pinaka in demand right now. So yung software configuration management is ginagawa niyang code yung paggawa ninyo ng environment. For example, you want to install an application like yung Google Chrome ninyo. Instead of clicking the X-ray and click next, pwede nyo siyang i-code sensible and then one run lang and then you can have an Google Chrome on your desktop or on other servers, and then you can also use it to 1,000 servers with just one command. Okay? So sa monitoring logging naman, we have New Relic, we have ELK, Prometheus, and a lot more on the market. So currently, yung New Relic yung pinaka bago, which is licensed siya. Maganda siya, actually. So sa monitoring and logging is dito lang lang naman. Chine-check niya lang yung mga servers, applications niya. If it's running or if it's failing, and then it can send you an alert kung ano yung status niya. Okay?
There's a question, Julius. Gradle, is that one of the tools that you're familiar with?
Yep, I'm familiar with Gradle. So build tool siya. Yun, ginagamit siya for build, automation ng build. Pwede rin siyang i-plug in.
No questions. We can move. Thank you.
Okay. So ito yung mga pipeline stages that are typically implemented in a project, but this can vary depending on the project needs or on the development needs. So this can be changed anytime. So we have here the check, clone, build, scan, and then release. Also deploy, validate the UAT, and production. So the UAT in production is the environment. So for the check, so it verifies the existence of the command line tools that will be used throughout. So for example, yung mga git ninyo or yung mga batch command ninyo, something like that. And then yung sa next naman is yung pag-clone. So sa clone stage kasi is kino-clone nyo yung mga changes ninyong nilagay sa repository or from the source code management para dalhin siya dun sa next stage, which is yung build. So yung build is kino-compile yung mga code changes ninyo, ini-integrate niya lahat para gumawa ng artifact ng package. And then is yung static code analysis, which is yung scan. So it executes the code coverage reporting and code inspection to the project. So chine-check nyo codes niyo kung may vulnerabilities, mga bugs, issues, or any other major issues that you have on your code. Para madali nyo siya ma-visualize or madali nyo ma-track kung saan yung mga code issues niyo. And then, yung sa release naman, so yung package na nagawa from build, ayun pala, si release is it produces a package of the compiled code base. So, basically, it creates a packages and then store it somewhere like artifact repository like Nexus and a lot more on the market and check it. And then next is the deploy. So it promotes the package to another environment. Like, kasi di ba sa development, merong development environment, UAT, SIT, and production. So meron mga different environments pag nagde-develop na kayo for a client. Kailangan lang siya makontrol. So sa deployment, din siya pwede yung mag-deploy sa other environment. And then pag validate naman, usually ginagawa dito is mga functional testing. So chine-check niya kung lahat ba ng functionality is okay or nagawa. And then yun, once na ma-test na yung application, pwede na siya ma-promote sa iba pang environment like the UAT and production. Okay? So yeah, so DevOps deliver measurable business outcomes. So, and by implementing 6Cs, you can achieve an accelerated software
Julius?
delivery. Yes. Mark?
Yeah. There's a question from Dr. Fuentes. Dr. Fuentes, I'll unmute you. Can you verbalize your question? Ayan.
Hello, sir. Good
Dr.
morning.
Arnold. Yes,
Hello,
good
sir.
morning.
Yes, good morning, sir. Good morning sa lahat ng mga participants. Sir, most of the time, if we are particularly exposing our data to the cloud service, just like using the GitHub or Heroku, it requires us to use the CLI. Can we use other means for that? Like, for example, we will evade the CLI by using the GUI or any what you call this visual data utility so that we can push and store our data to the cloud repository, just like using the GitHub and Heroku.
Without using the CLI.
Yes,
For
sir.
an
Pwede ba yun?
IDE, yes, pwede siya. Sa mga IDEs na ginagamit niyo, may ginagamit ba kayong mga IDEs like Eclipse?
Yes.
Mga ganun. Yes, meron mga third-party tool na third-party plugin na pwede nyo i-install dun sa IDEs niyo like
Parang
Git.
i-clone na, no? Parang i-clone yun, di ba? Parang
Yep.
i-clone siya. Tapos we need only to use the IDE and then we can push our data there. Pwede ba yun?
Yep, pwede siya.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
You can check na lang yung mga third-party tool or extension na pwede sa mga IDEs niyo. Pwede
Applicable
check
yun,
sa
sir.
marketplace.
Applicable yun, sir. Like for example, I'm using what you call this, the Linux or the Debian. Kahit ano pwede, sir.
As long as meron kang IDE, pwede magamit. Pero kung you're using just the command line or the terminal for Linux or Debian,
Okay.
mag-CLI ka lang talaga.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
There's another question from Irish. Irish, I'll unmute you. Irish, you can ask your questions. Irish. Hi, Irish. Sige, I'll just read the Irish question. What may be the vulnerabilities or conflicts that will encounter between the operators and developers in terms of DevOps?
In terms of DevOps, I think whenever you apply a DevOps practices between the operations team and the developers team, kasi nire-resolve namin yung mga conflicts between them. Walang conflict between them. Kaya wala. I think wala siya. Pero on the traditional part, yun nga, si developer kasi kailangan, gusto nga niya laging mag-code changes which can affect the operations team's monitoring and logging. Nagkakaroon sila ng conflict. Then we fix it or we make automate apply on them para mawala yung conflict na yun. Okay? Is it
Sige.
clear po ba, Irish? I think, yes?
Yeah, I think Irish is okay with it. So we can proceed.
Okay. So if there are any questions, guys, just ask it. Just type it on the Q&A box. Or raise your hand. Ha? Okay, let's proceed. So yun nga, whenever you're applying DevOps, you can have an accelerate software delivery for faster time to market. And then a balanced speed, cost, and quality and risk for increased capacity to innovate. And then reduce time to customer feedback for improved customer's experience. Siyempre yun ang pinaka-importante, customer experience. Okay? Okay, so next is, okay. So here are some DevOps use cases that we are implemented on IBM. So I cannot tell the name of the client. So it is a utility company. So they have implemented a release and deployment. So they have trimmed on estimate days 2 weeks of releases and deployment to approximately 2 to 3 hours. Kasi yung from days to weeks nilang releases and deployment is usually manual siya. So yung tao gumagawa. Nung once na apply in DevOps, it reduces from days to 2 hours to 3 hours na lang. Ganun kabilis yung nawala o yung na-save nilang time sa kanila. And then they have an fully automated test and deployment up to production environments. So this environments includes development, SIT, UAT, and pre-prod. So this has been made possible with the DevOps tools like GitLab, Jenkins, Maven, Archiva, and some shell scripting. So alongside with the upgrade of the system to CCB version 2.6. So yung CCB is an Oracle application. So ito yung DevOps use case diagram nilang implement. So we have the check, build, scan, release, and deployment. So checks sa clone, they check out all the code in the repositories needed in pipeline or as indicated in the list. So meron silang list if ever they wanted to do a specific build. And then once na maklone na yon, they have Maven and JUnit in place that compiles the C1 CCP code is in a staging environment and runs unit tests afterwards. Okay? Kinocompile nila dyan stage na yan. And then after that, they scan it using Jacoco. So Java code coverage yung Jacoco. And then a Sonar Cube para i-check yung codes nila kung meron bang mga vulnerabilities, issues, or bugs. And then the next is yung release, which they use a Maven and Archiva. So si Maven, nag-create siya ng package, and then after that, yung package na yun is ini-store dun sa Archiva. So si Archiva is like Git or GitHub, pero mga artifacts lang yung nilalagay. Like yung mga jar files, war files, year files, tar files, zips, ganyan. And then once na matapos malagay na siya sa artifact repository, and then doon naman papasok ng deployment nila, which is pinopromote yung package doon sa environment nila, which is CCB environments. Okay? I think that's all for the DevOps 101. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask or raise your hand.
Yeah,
Julius,
questions?
can you just go to the previous slide?
Yes, boss.
Okay, so for the attendee, CCB is basically customer care and billing. So in relation to what we have in the Philippines, it's basically your electronic bill. So ang ginagamit ng for this particular client, the Australian utility company, so any changes that's necessary to be reflected in the billing of the customers, this is done through the DevOps pipeline. How do you understand what CCB is? Okay, thank you, Julius. You proceed.
Thank you, John B, for that clarification. Okay.
think
Yun
there's
na
a
yung
question.
last slide ko.
Yeah,
So, any
Julius,
questions?
may question si Aris. So I'll unmute Aris. I'll unmute you.
Hello, good morning. Yeah, I observed that doon sa sa case diagram mo, all of the aspects of the project development is automated na. No? Mayroong mga tools na involved. So, what do you do as the DevOps engineers? I would like to understand your role as the DevOps engineer. And if there are other positions in the DevOps system na pwedeng maging opportunities pa for others, for our students, for example.
I see. So, as a DevOps engineer po kasi is we build this whole pipeline. We do this automation, firstly. And then once the pipeline is stable and then pwede na siyang iwanan, nagso-support na lang kami for any failures or for example, meron silang bagong ipapadagdag, yun yung ginagawa namin. Magagawa kami ng bagong automation for them. And then also sometimes we do some operations, tasks like monitoring yung mga applications, environments, mga ganun po.
Meron pa bang ibang roles or jobs sa sa isang DevOps na sistema parang ganyan other than the DevOps engineer na pwedeng maging opportunity?
Actually po kasi ang DevOps engineer can fall to a lot of based on my experience pa, it can fall a lot of jobs like sa Unix admin, you can be a Unix admin, you can be a release management, you can be a automation test, or you can be a tester. Pwede nyo siyang gawin, pwede nyo rin siya magawa, or sa build management, pwede rin. Yun po.
Thank you.
So we have another question from Dr. Arnold Fuentes. I'll unmute you, Dr. Arnold.
Hello, sir. Good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Sir, we often see Java, C#, Python as our core programming kasi ito yung ginagamit sa teams. So aside from this programming language, ano po ang mga programming dev tools for DevOps, no? It is very imperative na ang mga bata marunong gumamit ng different areas of scripting just like Node.js, Ember.js, Flutter, Vue.js, or Angular. Requirements ba talaga user para maging isa kang DevOps?
Actually, yes. Pero yes, dapat kasi maalam ka mag-programming language. Alam ko sa mga programming languages on how they work. Right? On how they work or how the codes work lang, firstly. And then the second one is you need to know how to make scriptings like
Okay.
Unix shell scripting, Ruby scripting, Python, Groovy, and a lot more of scripts that you have to learn.
Sir,
And-
second question. Yes.
Yes.
Sir, second question. Because right now in FINMA University with Ilo, we have these subjects for software management and project management. So here comes the DevOps right now. Therefore, sir, yung DevOps, parang part lang yan ng software management. Parang ganun yan.
Software management.
Yes. Parang ganun yan, sir.
Somewhat part siya ng software management.
Kasi in software management side naman, we are using these hierarchy styles of creating the design. We start with the gathering, planning, benchmarking, testing, deployment, installation. Parang cascading yan siya, di ba? Parang ganun rin yan, di ba, yung DevOps?
Pero pinakaiba lang kasi niya is this is an automated way niya.
Okay, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay po. Thank you po for that question, Arnold.
Thank you, Dr. Arnold. So, any other questions? You can raise your hands or use your attention button as well. So then I'll unmute you.
Mark, there's a question from Catherine Pagubitan. Is there or may dedicated ba na software QA engineer or test engineer during the testing stage?
Is it for me po ba, John V?
Yeah, Julius, you can answer.
Ay, okay. So, hi, may dedicated ba software QA engineer or test engineer during the testing stage? For DevOps practices, meron pong siguro meron at meron pa rin. Kasi sila yung gagawa ng mga test scripts for the automation. Pero yung gagawin nila ng manually, hindi na nila kailangan gawin manually. I-automate siya ng DevOps practices. Yun po siya.
Oh, Aris.
No.
Aris also have a question.
Hi, Aris. So does this mean hello DevOps, goodbye Agile, Scrum and Waterfall? No po. So DevOps kasi is a set of processes with Agile. So si Waterfall hindi na po ginagamit. Agile po talaga ang ginagamit for DevOps. Kasi sa Agile kasi is more on the fast pace or fast development para magkaroon ng fast speed. So doon po na-apply talaga yung DevOps. Sa Waterfall, it can be applied on Waterfall in DevOps. Pero hindi siya ganun kaganda yung result.
There's another question from Dr. Arnold.
Hey Arnold, what do you mean by bricks programming?
Dr. Arnold, probably I'll unmute you. Probably you can explain further or expound on your question.
Hello, sir.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
Can
sir.
hear you.
Bricks programming just like creating blocks. You create these blocks without any codes, just like using the Pintor. Kasi nabasa ko rin yun na yung ang blocks is now being used by different schools in abroad. So yung paggamit ba ni sir ng ng bricks programming maging part pa rin ng DevOps, or it will just stay not longer compared to code programming? Part pa rin ba siya ng DevOps?
Separate kasi yung yung programming sa DevOps. So sa DevOps lang is ino-automate niya lang kung ano yung mga ninyo. Yung parang once na meron mga changes sa text programming. So bricks programming hindi siya kasama talaga.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Any programming naman is hindi siya part ng DevOps. Or hindi siya ginagawa ng isang DevOps engineer.
Okay, sir.
Julius, can you put the slide prior to the title line of the use case? You may benefit.
Oops, nawala. So benefit po, boss? Yes, ito
Yes,
po,
this
boss.
slide. That slide. Okay. So siguro, and then Julius, you could add on this. So you could relate siguro for the students and the one that's attending, the impact generally of DevOps. Siguro you could connect this to I don't play Mobile Legends or MOBA, but it's something like if there's a new character, and then Julius, maybe you could add, if there's going to be a new character that's going to be released or hero, I can't remember the actual term. But what you could see here is that generally, if this is applied, there'll be more changes connected to the game. So, for example, the first benefit that we normally see during dev is accelerate software delivery. So for this one, if there are any changes to any particular game app that you're currently using, this is something that DevOps enables, or this is the DevOps does to your, or that's what you see immediately. Also, if you notice, there are also, because of the customer feedback that's being received by a lot of the tech companies, DevOps will enable them to make the changes faster. At the same time, because the DevOps pipeline or DevOps toolset is already very automated, in case there are the developers and the testers, they're more focused now on innovating and creating better products or better codes or better releases for that particular application, or in my example earlier, for game. Time, because of this particular advanced DevOps implemented in your development cycle, your customers are retained faster, because especially at this time, the retention of customers or the retention of clients is very fast. It's very short. In case they see something, there's an error, there's something that they don't like in the application, they could move to the next application, they could move to the next to a different provider, something like that. So it can also be related to, like, when you're using shopping apps like Lazada, Shopee, and then maybe Julius, you could add other use cases or current cases within the market right now.
I think the best example for that one is yung Facebook, di ba? Facebook is laging nagbabago yung mga UI niya or yung feel niya. Laging may mga new features na dadagdag. As you can see, hindi nyo napapansin na bago siya. Bigla na lang nagbabago. Walang downtime or walang anything na mangyayari. Nagagamit nyo pa rin yung Facebook. Pag close ninyo, pag open ninyo, bago na ulit siya. So that's when, kasi because of yung DevOps practices, like for the deployment, one of the processes for deployment kasi is yung high availability ng mga applications nila, which is nako-cover siya ng deployment from unang paisa-isa lang para yung mga users or yung customers is nagagamit yung application nila while they are upgrading yung application nila. Diba? Yun po. I think yun yung yung pinaka best example for that one. Pabago-bago man yung UI niya, at least hindi nasisira yung, or hindi niya i-interrupt yung paggamit niya ng Facebook. So may DevOps din po sila. Just an FYI. Yes po.
Julius, we have our last question from Erish. Erish, I'll try to unmute you. You can ask the question. Erish?
Hello, sir.
Hi, Erish.
Hello, sir.
Yes po.
Kamusta na, Erish?
Okay lang, sir.
Can ask your question.
Sir, last question. Except for Agile and Waterfall, maybe other SDLC steps may be applying more accurate.
In my experience kasi, ilan talaga yung sinasupport namin. Kasi if you ever apply it in a waterfall model, kasi di ba ang waterfall model is you need to finish muna yung step by step before you proceed to another step, di ba? Unlike sa Agile, you can do a fast pace of evolving all the Agile steps. Kaya much accurate siya kung gagamitin siya for an Agile development. Is that clear ba, Irish?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, if I may add, I think, Julius, and for everyone. It's more effective in terms of using Agile because every 2 weeks meron tayong mga releases or meron tayong mga nade-deliver. The advantage of using DevOps in an Agile approach is that if there are mishaps or issues being seen while developing, we can quickly adjust and ma-address kagad yung mga issues and we can deliver it much faster and quick and mas maganda yung collaboration. I think that's another answer. So may last question tayo kay Dr. Arnold Fuentes. Unmute kita, sir, Dr. Arnold.
Yes, sir.
Yes po.
Sir, itong tanong ko, kasi sir, I'm also working in the industry as a freelance software developer. So, pag ang ano pala, parang ang DevOps pala, sir, like for example, if one application is running, you can still modify it. Di ba tama yun? Tapos continue yung running niya. Without any, what you call this, without any interruption. Parang, ang principle, sir, parang gumagamit siya ng threads, parang ganun. Yung ibig mo sabihin.
Yes. Parang gumagamit siya ng mga threads, something like that.
There is what you call priority for first step, second step. Parang ano, di ba, sir? Yung threads na ginagamit niya sa DevOps.
Yep,
Okay,
mga
thank you.
pipeline stages.
Pipeline stage. Thank you, sir.
So I think that's our last question.
Meron pa siyang from Aris.
Ano pa ba? Ayun, sorry. Aris, last question. Well, last na talaga. Aris, unmute kita.
Sige po, push.
Para sa mga nakikinig ng mga estudyante ngayon, ano? So, what does it take to become a good DevOps engineer? Ano yung mga essential skills na dapat nilang ma-develop? Thank you.
Essential skills. Siguro, first one is that you need to know how the codes run. Or kahit magbasa lang rin ng codes. Para malaman nyo lang kung paano nag-work yung mga code na yun. Number 1 yun. Number 2, the second is you need to have a skill or you need to know how the script works or how to build a script kahit anong script yan kasi almost all of the scripts naman is iisa lang yung algorithm nila. Iisa lang yung algorithm nila. Nababago lang yung mga script languages nila. Isa lang naman yung algorithm. So dapat siya matutunan nyo rin. And then lastly is that dapat lagi kayong open sa mga new tools or new skills na darating kasi good opportunity yan para ma-expand yung DevOps practice.
Thank you.
Siguro to add on that, Aris, so the main thing about DevOps is continuous optimization. So it's also expected for any DevOps engineer, any DevOps consultant. Like what Julie said, you need to be very open to new tools. At the same time, these engineers or these consultants, they study and they learn new tools as they come along. Like some of the tools that was featured earlier, that was not present years back. And then there will be additional tools to optimize the development phases. So it's something that you learn as you do the actual job, and this is very essential for someone who's doing DevOps, for them to also continuously improve themselves.
And I think that's very nice on what are the skills that we need. I think that before we end our session, so I'd like to ask for a poll. I would like to understand. Wait lang. Tingnan ko ulit yung presenter view.
Hi to everyone. While we're waiting for the poll coming from Sir Mark, I would like to grab this opportunity to thank our partners from IBM, Sir Mark, Sir Julius, and Sir John. We thank you very much for taking the time for our second session today with our students and with our faculty members and deans coming from all of my education campuses. Dean Regan from SWU, Dean Aris coming from UPAng. Also, Dean John, Ma'am Evelyn of AU, Dean Seth, and Dr. Arnold from UI, Dean Darwin from COC, and our colleagues from Charisma Colleges in Indonesia. And to all our fellows in my education, employees, and the rest of our partners from IBM.
And so I'll open the poll. I would like to ask everyone to answer it within 2 minutes. So, nakikita niyo ba yung poll? So, please, you'd like to understand where you're coming from.
While they're answering, sir, I would just like to remind once again that our free Web Escuela series our free Web Escuela series run in the whole month of June, every Tuesday and Thursday at 10 a.m. Next week, our topics will be data science and microservices. They may check the respective FB pages of the Alumni and Corporate Engagement for the webinar links. And the students should not forget to share the invitation to their classmates.
Okay, thank you. So, meron pang mga nag-vote. So, since wala na nag-vote, I'll close the poll. Then, medyo nag-ano lang siya. Na-add lang ng DTI at sinecheck ng ating government kung tama yung poll results. So if you can see the poll results, everyone see it. So thank you very much for this session. Any closing words, Sir Egypt, before we end it?
I think that's it, sir. Once again, thank you to all our speakers, to our students and FINMA Education faculty members and deans for joining us today. Kita kits for next week.
Okay, thank you. Have a nice week.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.